Hello, people. It is almost 6 o'clock, which means it's basically like the dead of night here in Michigan. So I have a light in front of me and all this stuff, but I apologize for the lighting. You can just call this like the 26 questions, but the 26 questions after dark version. Okay. So I was tagged by Heather. I will link her below. Her video was hilarious per usual and also heartbreaking. And then I just pulled up the questions from this fellow, David Murphy, who looks familiar. I think I'm probably subscribed to him, but I haven't watched his videos in a while, so I think I need to watch this one later and also some of his other ones. So the first question, what was your most recent YouTube rabbit hole? So I don't really think that I would define this as a rabbit hole, because to me, a rabbit hole is when you start researching something and then that leads you to this other thing and this other thing and this other thing. But I am obsessed with Adrienne Marie Brown right now, and I have been watching like every lecture and every like discussion with her. Not really a lecture, that's not really her jam, but I've been watching everything I can of hers. If you guys have not read Emergent Strategy, that's definitely a book you might want to get your hands on. But I also recently bought, we'll do a goal update later.
Sorry, could you say that again? Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Siri's trying to rub it in that I haven't done the best at my know by year. Anyway. So I also bought Pleasure Activist or Pleasure Activism or something like that by her, and I'll be reading that soonish, but she is just so amazing. She has the most soothing voice, and she just like speaks truth into the world, and I don't even know what to say. I think there's a question later on politics, and what I was listening to last night that she talked about really made me think even more about politics. She was talking about basically, in her book, she talks a lot about how you start with yourself and then you move outward, kind of like fractals, like how they repeat themselves from like small to large, whatever. And so you should focus whatever you want, focus on yourself and improving yourself, and then build it from there. And so community is a huge thing for her, because she really feels that like we need meaningful communities. And one of the things she talked about that I thought was really interesting is in America, we just have this idea of like, you will do it, and like you will achieve, and you will like work, and it will happen for you, and all your dreams will come true if you just work hard enough. And there's like this individual mindset, and I, for one, am guilty of that as well. Like tomorrow I'm getting the brakes fixed on my car. Did I ask anyone for a ride to work? No, I did not. I'm taking like the shuttle from the car place when I could have easily dropped my car off tonight and asked for a ride to work with someone tomorrow, and then I wouldn't have had to be late to work. But I don't like asking people for help. So, like I'm still in this American mindset that probably needs to stop. But her kind of thing was that you should basically have a community where people rely on each other. And like, I think the Democrat perspective is that we want everyone, I just gave away a little bit of what I'm going to say in the future, but we want everyone to have food, clothing, shelter. Like we want everyone's basic needs met. And then beyond that, people can work and they can, do whatever they can to rise above that. But everyone should have healthcare and their basic, there's all this cat hair because I'm petting my cat. Everyone should have all their basic needs met. And in her book, she's basically saying like, no, like we need to be here for each other. We need to support each other. And actually in nature, like creatures rely on each other for stuff, and that's okay. And that needs to be what our communities look like. So anyway, like there's so much, like what she says is so simple and so complex and so detailed that like you can always listen to her or always read her books and you'll always get more. So Adrienne Marie Brown. What song is currently stuck in your head? Nothing. I really enjoy music, but I wouldn't really say like I'm a music person. Like I can't tell you like a certain artist that I like. I mean, I have a few I could tell you, but I just like kind of like folk music, but like kind of like newish folk music. I really like contra dancing, which I haven't gotten to in a long time, but like the fiddle music there, I love that. I love like kind of chill, like just hang out with your friends and have chill music in the background. Like I love that, but I don't have a music stuck in my head, and I'm just not that kind of a person where something would get stuck in my head. Now, having everything remind me of a book I read, that is more how my brain works. Okay. What kind of music do you listen to the most? I kind of already answered that. I like kind of folk stuff. The other thing I really like is stuff that people have never heard of. One time I like was gonna hang out with this guy, and I got like front row seats to the East Village Opera Company. Has anyone heard of them? I will be amazed. You will get a gold star if you have heard of them. Ended up not working out, and I had to go with a friend, but yeah. Anyway, just like I like random stuff that no one has heard of. Apparently, my books are the same. Oh, hang on, stop. What is something you need to get better at? One of the things, it's not really like a skill, it's more of like a balanced mindset sort of thing. So I'm like a huge introvert. And when I do go out and hang out with people, like I usually have the best time. Like I had a baby shower this past weekend, not for me, for my friend. And I was kind of like, not really wanting to go. And I got there and I loved it and it was so much fun. But I think like the figuring out when to say yes to stuff and when to say no, because I need the time to recharge. Like I think that's what I need to get better at is I want to push myself and make myself do social stuff because I usually end up having fun and I want to be connected to me community and blah, 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 blah. And I also want to nurture myself and say no when I need to just rest and have introvert time reading. So figuring out that balance, I guess, and how to best advocate for myself. Do you set goals? What are your goals for the end of the year, next year? Yes, I set goals. My most successful ones are usually 12-week goals, which is a book by something Morin, I feel like. I don't know where it is. I think it's at work. Where basically the thing I'm best at and that connects to this book is I'm really good at just like zooming in, micro level. What will I do today? Today, you know what I did? I counted my breakfast and I tracked it in my Weight Watchers app. Like that tiny, like did I do this today? Yes or no? Those goals I'm so good at. And in focusing on this moment or this day sort of stuff, that has helped me make huge changes in my life before. So that is those are the kind of goals that are most successful. And in the 12-week year, it's kind of similar. You set tiny goals that you will do, and then you focus on them, and then 12 weeks later, you're a brand new person. It's amazing. So yes, and no by year update soon. When was the last time you lost your temper? Never. I mean, not never. I don't know. I don't really lose my temper. What I do is when I get upset, sometimes I'll get really quiet, like silent. Like, one of the other things I want to get better at is not questioning myself. Like, if someone does something that I feel is not okay, like for example, mansplaining, or if I'm in a situation where I feel the heebie-jeebies and then like I start to doubt myself, like am I just overreacting or whatever, I need to get better at not caring about other people validating like my experience, and just believing my own intentions. So I don't lose my temper. I do get silent sometimes, and I've gotten so much better at advocating for myself and speaking out when I have a problem, and speaking out in a really kind way that usually gets people to do what I want. So that's good, but it hasn't always been like that. Based on the environment I grew up and I was not able to advocate for myself, and it really was something that has constantly developed and is still developing about just like having confidence in myself and what I feel and think and all that sort of stuff has validity and is valuable, and yeah, just making sure that I am advocating for myself and saying what I need. Do I swear too much? No. I don't really swear that often. Do I spend too much money on shoes? No. I will say, if I'm going to buy a pair of shoes, I want them to be high quality, not like a brand name, like designer sort of thing, but more like there's certain brands that are not super like fancy schmancy that I know don't hurt my feet, that feel good, that are good for your feet. And so I will pay more money to have something that I know is going to be quality, but I don't really care about shoes at all. Like, no. What's the worst book you have ever read? I do not know that I can answer this, but I will say the most recent one that I can think of was, gosh, what's her name? Glennon Doyle? Is that her name? The picture of the book has like a super bright cover with like loads of crazy insane colors. The cover is beautiful. I think she tries too hard. I think she's trying to show off. That's one pet peeve I have of people. And I know it's like an emotional issue, so I shouldn't judge. But when they're always trying to like be like, look at me, look at me, look at me, and like trying to be some kind of way instead of just being who they are. And I felt like she was trying way too hard. Like the whole book, you could quote every single line in there because she was trying to make it like a quotable book, and it's not. I don't think it's genuine. I've seen videos of her not being genuine, and that's not me. I like see people not being genuine, and nope, bye. Are you a homebody or are you more adventurous? I don't even know what to say to this because, like I said, I'm a super introvert. I love just staying at home. I love reading. I feel like when I'm at home, I get distracted and I don't always have as much time to read as you would think that I would based on like the amount of time that I have at home or whatever, like on the weekends. I would be perfectly happy spending an entire weekend at home with no plans. Like, in fact, I started a new routine where I'm scheduling that for myself once a month. The only month that I can't do it is January because I'm hanging out with my friend in Wisconsin this weekend on the weekend that I was planning to have a solo weekend. But, yeah, so in that way, I love being at home. But one of the things that I've realized about myself from living lots of different places is I have this like strategy for how I will move into a city and how I will make it my home. And some of the different things that involves makes me someone who people that have lived there forever are like, oh my gosh, like I've lived here my whole life and I didn't even know about this. Like I'm the person recommending really cool stuff to do with people. And like I think people who follow me on social media think that I'm always like busy, go doing stuff, all this cool stuff. And like, yeah, I do, but I also stay at home. So it's kind of like, there's not a lot of middle ground. It's either I'm at home the whole weekend or like I have all these plans and it's going to be like the best weekend ever. So that's that. And also I've been trying to schedule things with my cycle more often. So I'm going to Wisconsin this weekend. So excited. That's going to be like busy. But that's also supposed to be towards the start of my winter. I don't know exactly what day my winter will come, but it's not the ideal plan for that. Like normally I would not schedule something during my winter, but I want to hang out with my friend and the event is happening then. Do you take naps? I'm a big fan of Sunday naps, but I also think that they kind of suck up your whole day. So I don't like to waste time. So kind of like what Heather said, I take more naps in the winter. During the summer, I'm out and about. And I think it also has to do with like the light. Like it's so much brighter in the summer that I have tons more energy. What else was I going to say about naps? Oh, the other thing that's really weird related to naps, that's, I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but it's bizarre and really weird. Anyway, there are some times when I am having a weekend where I'm at home, at least for that day or for the whole weekend or whatever, and I get into this really like meditative mindset where I'm like really diving into some like Christian book or some woo-woo book, or I'm watching some video that makes me think, or I'm journaling or whatever, and I just get into like this mindset. Sometimes I get goosebumps actually from different things, which I take seriously. Whenever I get goosebumps, I pay close attention to things. Sorry for being woo-woo, but that's how I am. And there's some times when I just need to shut my eyes. Like I just need to, it's not that I'm tired, it's just like I need to get all the sensory stuff out of the way so I can just reflect on like what I just learned. And it doesn't happen all the time, but it's just happens sometimes when I go really deep in, and then I end up falling asleep even though I didn't intend to. I just intended to like just like block out sensory information, I guess. Kind of weird. Have you ever been to Minnesota? The greatest state in the union. Michigan, I think, is the greatest. I have been to Minnesota, but only the airport in whatever, Minneapolis, probably. Have you ever tried to emulate someone? Okay, so there are people specifically on BookTube that I think are just super cool, and I don't think I've emulated them, but there's aspects about them that I kind of like admire and kind of wish I could be like, but I don't want to be fake and be like them. And the other thing I found is basically, let me just describe this. I don't want to like name any people, but I guess the people that I think of in this way, they're typically from the West Coast. They like don't really wear makeup. They're just kind of plain in their appearance, and I don't know, there's probably a name for them. Like not hipster, because that's like done with, but just kind of like earthy, very liberal, very, very liberal. And hang on, my potato is boiling over. Okay, I'm back. So they're the people that just kind of look crunchy. They don't wear makeup, but they look good. They always look good. And they're super liberal, and they talk about feminism, and they use all these big words about, I don't even know. But when I've actually like looked at them more closely, they don't really read like that diversely. Like they have this image of being super liberal, but they only read like educated white women, basically. And yeah, so I guess, oh my gosh, stop it. I'll be right back again. Back. Okay, so not putting them down because I don't know them, but just from the outside, they look slightly on the fake side, and that's not me. So I guess I don't emulate them because I don't actually follow through, but I admire them a bit because they're like educated, liberal people. What's the worst food you have ever eaten? I don't know, probably like some kind of meat when it gets like the like grizzly sort of parts, but I don't eat meat anymore, so it's all good. I can't think if I've ever had anything really gross. Do I enjoy bars? What kind? Are you or have you ever been a regular at one? No, I don't like bars. Like, I think it would be so much fun to like visit the UK or Wales or whatever for a longer period of time, and I feel like that bars are so much more a part of their culture than they are here. And so I feel like I would definitely go to the bar with someone if I was visiting, but it's just not my jam like long term. Like I feel like maybe like 3 or 4 times a year. I would love to go hang out with people at a bar, but not like a crazy bar, just like especially during the summer when they have like the garage door sort of things that are open and you can just sit with your friends, hang out, have some beverages. But honestly, my beverages is probably like one. Like, I'm not talking about like going to the bar. So yeah, sorry. And that's also one thing, like, I feel like in my 20s, like, I was more trying to be like everyone else, and I still kind of sometimes feel like I don't really fit the mold because I'm still like single with 2 cats and don't like bars, you know, but I used to try to like bars a lot more, and now I'm just like, no, I don't like bars. Have you ever been hungover? Yes, in college. Never since college. When was the last time you laughed out loud while reading? I don't know, but Mary Laura Philpott's books are hilarious, and she has a new one coming out soon. I think it's in April. So you should check out her last one and then check out her new one. How would you label yourself politically? I am left and getting lefter. Oh, okay, yeah, I thought I missed a question. I know lefter's not a word, but I'm just saying, like, I keep heading in that direction. In fact, listening to Adrienne Brown, she was talking again about communities, but she was almost talking about, like, how big can a nation get before it's not really successful, and about how, like, the whole, like, American government was, like, an experiment, and, like, how's it going? Let's do a check-in. So, yeah. Anyway. What was the last movie you watched? I hardly ever watch movies. So that's another thing about me. Like, I feel like I don't really know how to connect with people who are discussing movies or whatever because I rarely watch them. The thing I watched recently, I'm only halfway done. I think it's called Don't Look Up. It's the one where basically there's all these big name people in it. Leonardo DiCaprio being one, and basically the scientists find this comet that's gonna hit Earth and like destroy life, and they tell people about it and everyone blows them off. So they go on this media tour trying to be like, listen, we're for real, you need to listen to us. And it's really funny, but it's also kind of scary because, like, I don't know that all of this is quite made up, like, as far as like the way people respond to them seems actually kind of realistic. Do you want kids? Do you wish you had kids? So, okay, here's the thing. When someone has a baby, for a brief second, I think about how cool it would be to like have a little person that is yours, that you can basically help them become the person that they were meant to be, and just kind of nurture them and create the best situation for them and just like help them to like contribute to the world in some way. And I just think it would be so fun to share so many things, like share the books that I love and just share experiences with them and teach them things and all that sort of stuff. But on a day-to-day basis, like, do I want a child in my home all the time? No. No, thank you. I have kids at school all day. Like, maybe if I had a different career, but I'm with kids all day. I need a break when I go home, and I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that because you're not supposed to say stuff like that, but no, thank you. I'm good. I will have nieces and nephews one day, maybe. Do you get along with your siblings? Yes, I only have one brother, and he is 32, 31. He was born in 89. I don't want to do the math. We are complete opposites. And as a kid, I was very like shy, quiet, internal, stayed in my bedroom like the majority of the time. Where I would play by myself. I loved playing with myself. By myself. I still love playing by myself, like reading books, and they launch you into this discovery where you're Googling stuff and you're learning stuff and you're watching, like, I love that. And so that's very similar to like how I was as a kid. And my brother is like always hanging out with people. He's into all the sports. He broke his ankle like skateboarding off of like a loading dock. He skateboarded behind, like, actually I don't know if he was skateboarding or if he was driving the car, but him and his friends, like, one of them would skateboard and the other would like drive a car, and they would be like tethered to the car. He's just like wild, crazy, did all this crazy stuff, like a good kid, but like a little wild. And it's just been weird because like I'm the one who went away to college. He stayed home. He went to community college, and then he went to a nearby university. He like got married pretty quickly after he graduated, I would say. And they live in the same town we grew up in. Meanwhile, I'm like all over Chicago, blah, 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 all these different places. So it's just weird how I was like more like introverted and internal, but I'm the one exploring and doing all these things. And then he was more crazy and then is staying close to home. And I think that now, I think we're more similar now than we used to be. We're kind of coming into like a more middle ground where like, okay, I am social and like can handle myself better than I used to be able to as far as social situations. And he is becoming slightly quieter, although he still is with people all the time. And like also with bigger groups, like I prefer like hanging out with one or two people, and he will be this huge group of friends. I think we're coming more to like a middle ground. He disagrees, and last time I said something like that, he was like, no. I don't really know what that's supposed to mean, but I text him from time to time. We don't really talk on the phone too much. We will from time to time, but like when I see him, we are nonstop talking. I feel bad for his wife because we're just like blah, 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 blah. What is a book you have serious issues with but love? Harry Potter. I don't need to go into that. Everyone knows. Do you like your job? I have a lot of different jobs. I love working at the nature center. I love doing things that are different. And I love seeing education in a different way. I also really love the Teach Better company. That's laptop that I need to unbox. That's from them. Like, they're such a great place to work. This is my personal laptop, but they contributed over half of the cost towards it. It's amazing people. They're so genuine. They're so like wanting to invest in you as a person, and just really into creativity and education and thinking outside the box and really innovating education. And for everything else, yeah, I like the kids and my job, and I think I've kind of gotten to the point where when I was in my 20s, I feel like I was looking elsewhere quite a bit, and I was always trying to find like better fits and stuff like that. And you know what? There's stuff wrong everywhere. So I'm just kind of hanging out, loving life, and I feel like I was reading Carolyn Meese, I think is her name. Sarah from Your True Shelf recommended this book to me as Sacred Contracts. She was describing this dream where she was in an airplane and like it was foggy, it was hard to see. That's what I feel like. Like I feel like I am close to something, and I'm not talking about something big, but I'm just saying like I feel like I'm headed in the direction, but I don't know what's coming. And I'm not saying it's going to be something big, but I just feel like I make decisions every day to put myself in good experiences, good position, and yeah, just see where I head in my life, which might not be teaching for my whole life. I don't know. Nobody knows. Just live your life and see what happens, and meet all sorts of amazing people that will help you grow, and you can help them grow. And what is something you love about the city you live in? Muskegon. So I love that it is walking distance to the beach and has loads of nature. We have a really cool downtown scene, which I am loving. I love that Muskegon is diverse. My only problem is that as much as I love the downtown scene, I feel like it is quickly becoming gentrified. And part of what I love about Muskegon is the diversity. And I don't want people to be pushed in certain pockets. And I think they kind of already are in pockets where everyone is the same as them. But yeah, anyway, I love the potential of Muskegon. Who is your celebrity crush? I don't do that. So this is probably something really weird about me. And I found a term for it one time in a book, but I don't remember what it was. And I also don't like putting labels on myself. But I do not have crushes on people until I get to know them, and then their personality and all that sort of stuff makes me crush and crush hard. But celebrities, like, I can look at them, I can be like, oh yeah, like, whatever, but I don't really crush. So that's that. I need to crush on people that I get to know, like, not like no, but just like acquaintances. Then once I know a little bit about them, then I can be like, oh yes, I like them. Anyway, so that is all the 26 questions. I would like to tag Lauren Marquette, but I don't know if she already did it. I would like to tag Alex, but I think she already has been tagged. In fact, I think she's already done it. So I will think about who I want to tag, and then I will write it below. But just know that even though I'm not telling you right now who I'm tagging because I don't know who I want to tag, just know that whoever I tag is amazing and you should follow their channel. All right, guys, I will see you later. Bye.